Mainly recording this because I've had a lot of thoughts over the past few days, and it's kind of come in, it always comes in kind of like waves for me specifically because like I'm very heavily into the content aspect, and I talk directly to freelancers and web design agency like owners constantly now. I talk less to real people, real business owners, clients that are outside the scope of this, and I have an immense amount of thoughts in my head that I need to share. I don't have a ton of answers. I'm navigating it just like you, but I'm trying to get like a half, like 0.1% better every day. Here's the thing. I've been building websites since 2027, or no, 2027, 2017, 2018, whatever. Had the agency since then. Built a bunch of websites for clients, for myself, my own projects, other projects, whatever. I know how to build a website. I know how to use different tools, all that. There's a couple themes that I want to talk about because I think they're really important. I'm going to try to list them here, and I'll go through them through this just, very stream of consciousness thing. If I post this, I'll try to leave stuff in the description for you to take a look at so you can skip through if you'd like. One theme is the fact that we as web development design professionals, if you talk to other people like in that space a lot, which I do, I feel like I'm constantly talking to people that are like me. It's really great in some ways. It's really great because I get to talk to those people all the time. They understand me. We have the same problems. We have the same like struggles, whatever. But at the same time, if you only talk to those people, you absolutely do not understand how the normal person thinks. When I say normal person, I mean your potential client, or just another business owner, like a business owner that's outside the realm of technology, doesn't really care about it, value it, whatever. So that's a really important point that I don't think I grasped enough very recently. I don't think I've realized that there are people out there that if you're not on sales calls enough, if you're not on just in other circles talking about like what's your opinion on a website, right? You talk to your colleague and you say, man, this SEO stuff that's going on is really da-da-da, whatever, or SEO is dead, or AI is crazy, da-da-da. Like, we're so consumed, I feel like, with all of our YouTube subscriptions and stuff we get recommended on YouTube or stuff on social media, it's tuned to us. But if you ask maybe, your significant other that's not in the tech industry, or you ask just another one of your friends from school or something that's not in the tech industry, they're going to have a totally different opinion. And the thing is, there's a lot of people like that. And the other thing is that if you're selling websites, those people are like that as well. Like, that's probably those people. They probably have a finance business, or they have like some other industry business. They might be like construction, worker or something, like a construction company or something. They know their craft really well, but they don't know the marketing and the tech side of things. And they definitely don't know like the web design sort of thing. So where this comes to me is, as I'm thinking about that, this comes back and I'm thinking, how does this affect me as one? Because I have to wear two hats. I have to wear a hat of, again, I definitely don't want to call myself an influencer. I loosely want to call myself a thought leader, but very low on the totem pole as far as that thing. Like, it's somebody that talks to other web designers and, agency owners and things like that. I'm out here, I'm just speaking, right? Somebody who speaks to those types of people like yourself. What does that mean for me in that light? And what does it mean for me in the sense of when I'm still an agency owner and I still build websites? So this is kind of from and also comes to a head when anytime I get into the realm of putting my agency owner hat on and have to take sales calls, I have to listen to people. This is all stemming from a recent one that I've had where I've had a sales call. It went pretty well, understood the scope, priced it out accordingly, and then take a follow-up to that. And the essence of it is, hey, we understand that you know what you're talking about. We know people that you've worked with. We know you do good work. And this is just one example. I mean, this is an anecdotal thing. So I'm not saying this, I'm saying this exists. I'm not saying it's like the norm. All of those things, plus though, we've also got other quotes, right? So they said they've got other quotes, and like your quote is whatever, and there's people that can do things cheaper. Now I'm really just navigating this I'm navigating it because I've navigated it before, but it always takes like a slightly different turn. So I'm sharing this experience with you. I want to get, after I get through this example, I want to get higher up in the purview of this whole thing so I can like zoom out a little bit and actually see the lay of the land. But in a vacuum, you're going to have these scenarios, and I just had one where they're like, hey, I know this other random fucking company that can do it for cheaper, and we really don't need a lot. No, we don't, we just need the absolute basics, which was already quoted as the basics, and that's what we need. Now, in my mind, I'm doing two things as I'm having this conversation. The first thing that I'm having is, okay, regardless of if I get this deal or if I don't get this deal, literally I don't care. I just, I'm trying to, from one angle in my mind, I'm still in the agency mode. From one angle in my mind, I'm like, I need to get better at sales and just understanding people, really human psychology when they're buying shit, because I'm not a salesperson. So that's the first thing I need to get constantly better at. The second thing though, is I'm putting my, like, half of my, educator hat on, and I'm thinking, this is a prime opportunity to understand one archetype of customer that you could have in this space. So I try to dive into that, and I'm very real and candid on this call, and I'm trying to understand how this individual sees websites. Like, what do they actually think of? I'm going to paraphrase. Websites are like the stuff on a website is kind of an illusion. Most people that I'm speaking as that most people that I know, they don't look at websites, they don't look at the content, they just use it just to know if somebody is real, so to speak, and it's just for like some level of presence and reputation. It's like, oh, you have a website, you're legit. Now, as I think about this back, I'm thinking, in a way, I kind of understand what you're saying. That's not how I think of a website. But I'm also thinking it's kind of subjective. Everything that we're doing here is so perception based off of our client's perception, our perception, our colleagues' perception. It's all perception based with this. And it's also, that's kind of stupid that it's all perception based. But then you have to go over and you have to think of, is there anything objective in this? And this is why, I'm going to put a quick aside in here because I didn't think about this at all. This is why I think I always moved and subconsciously wanted to go towards websites that actually generate money. Because this fucking bullshit area of brochure websites is the stupidest fucking thing that you could ever. It's necessary in certain instances, but it's so intangible. The value is so intangible that it's just difficult to quantify. It's always been difficult for me to quantify. And again, I'm not saying that all the stuff that I'm saying is right. I'm just saying where I'm at, and you guys tell me in the comments where you think that you're at or the things that you've found, because I'm trying to learn together here with you guys. I'm just the one talking into the camera. So I get to this, I'm getting to this point. I'm trying to wrap my head around all this stuff. This individual and other individuals, I'm sure, I don't know what percentage of people are like this, but it's like websites are just kind of an illusion. They're just there for whatever. At least right away. Now, it's a new business, getting it off the ground, totally get it, understand. But at the same time, I'm thinking in my head, okay, well, and I'm also verbalizing this. This is a very open dialogue in this conversation. And I'm thinking, well, we do, this is a relation-based industry. If you do it properly, in my opinion, from my perspective, pretty much every website has, some sort of recurring fee that goes along with it as well. That's how we handle it. They inform me that there's people out there saying that there is no recurring fee for websites. I don't understand how that works. Somebody's going to need to educate me on that. But my point is that, I'm trying to navigate. Am I just being like reverse hard sold to be beaten down? I didn't really think that was the case. And I don't care. This isn't about this deal. It's not. It's about the concept of what this is, because I'm zooming out. I haven't zoomed out yet, but I'm trying to zoom out. and I'm trying to think, is this what web design, the industry, is in 2025? Has it been for a while? I have no idea. But is it what this is? And from being the one thing that being in like the WordPress community and the web designer community has taught me is that there's so many options now, because I see them more, obviously you know about them, but you like actually see them because like you're constantly getting hit with like, oh, this AI thing and this fucking website builder and all these, and not just Wix and Squarespace, like all these other ones now that are popping up. And it's like the barrier of entry to get into web design is so low. People are actually being actively marketed to build their own websites. They're being doubly marketed with AI, making it look so easy. And then not only is the concept of building and creating a website being seen as easy by some, this conversation is actually a little different. It's like, it's not really about building it. It's about the actual thing. Like, it's just, maybe this individual is unique in this way. I don't know, but I can't imagine they are. I mean, there's 7 billion people. What percentage of people think that websites aren't even important necessarily anymore? And again, I do want to put a asterisk in here that this could also be for several other reasons, like previous experience, industry, like, we don't need a website for our type of industry. Like, I don't really agree with that necessarily, but like that could also be the case. My point is that, and my takeaways here are, I'm just trying to share an experience with you that I've had, and I'm trying to navigate myself, because I don't want to be in the industry of a commodity. And I think that websites are becoming commoditized. The concept of them are. I think you can still sell them as not commodities, and it does really come down to you, but it also comes down to who you're selling to. And this is where I think that I need to like understand, and I've reached out to like some mentors and things like that to kind of like really like wrap my head around this, and other people that I trust. Like, I need a better framework of like just when to just be like, it's totally fine, goodbye. You know what I mean? Like where is the, and I talked about this on a live stream, recently here. And I was like, I'm getting closer, because what I used to do is on calls, I would be like, hey, what do you need? Spend so much time on the call, not ask about budget, give them a proposal and be like, hey, here's all this shit for like $20,000 or whatever. This is what I think you should do. And then they're like, no, we don't have anywhere near that amount of money, and we're completely shocked by that price. Thank you for your time, but no, that's not a good way to do it. I'm not going to go into that whole, I have another video on that sort of stuff. But my point is that I have evolved to, I'm going to ask you about the price like I did in this one. And I'm going to give you a price that's, I'm going to say like, this is where I think this is going to fall. Does that shock you? And then I give you a price that's not going to shock you on the thing. And it's all within the way that I price things, but it's like the scope matches the price, and we're both on the same page. That aside, my point is that maybe I need to do that a little bit better, but I'm trying to understand what people actually want and what they think about when they think of websites. I'm trying to think of how to educate them better on it. I'm trying to think of if I should even be selling websites. But that poses a bigger problem, because if I'm not selling websites, then can I really tell you guys to fucking sell websites? You know what I mean? Like, so it's very confusing. Or like, would I recommend that you guys continue to do that? I don't think it's going away. But this is the whole reason that some of my content has moved towards like AI, some automation stuff wherever I can, because I genuinely I see these examples pretty regularly. And then when they're really like firsthand experiences, I'm like, I have no idea how to please these people. And maybe again, it's just individual instances that are whatever, but I have no idea how to please somebody when they inherently don't have the same mindset on what a website kind of is. Maybe some of them, again, don't value the actual skill of it, and then they just don't care. The simple answer to this question is maybe just don't fucking work with those people. It's very, very simple. Could be the answer. That said, if it's not that simple, is it educate them, use, kind of like analogies and metaphors to like get them to understand like, hey, in X months, X years time, like you're going to actually want to have a strong foundation that you could have build more stuff off of. Maybe that's an example. Cause I totally get the idea of starting small. I get that. I'm just trying to like navigate that for myself, because I literally don't know. I know how to build good stuff, and it's solid. It works well. Never had somebody complain about the stuff that I build. The trouble is that how do you get to that point almost, or do you just not work with startups, or like what is the case there? And if you're going to work with a startup, how low do you really bring your pricing? Not even your pricing though. Again, I would never recommend like saying you're going to do X, Y, and Z for X price, and then still saying you're going to do X, Y, and Z for 50% off of that price. That's not what I would do. I'm not doing that. If I bring my price down in like this case or a different case, I'm going to bring the scope down. Like instead of 5 pages or whatever the fuck it is, like it's going to be a single page, like just whatever. And it's like even then probably still shouldn't necessarily do it. I feel like in some cases. But my point is at least you're not lowering your price. You're literally just saying we'll do less for less. So that's one key takeaway. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe it just comes down to numbers. You just have to have your numbers and never go under the minimum viable price to work with you. That's probably it. And if that's the case, then we can have a whole nother conversation on whether you should just like say that up front so people just understand like, hey, our minimum to work is so-and-so amount, whatever. If you don't have that, then there's zero chance we're going to do anything for you. And even if you have that, like you're going to get like extremely like one pager or something. I have no idea. I don't know if there's like really actually answers to this. It's probably just more like experience and what has worked for people, particularly at scale too. Again, I'm using an anecdotal example here, but I still see it a lot and people complain about it enough and I see it and it's like it is becoming an issue. It's probably always been an issue, but I don't think the issue is going to get any better because I think that like so many other things, the world and society and technology is pushing us towards this way of commoditization of this industry that we're in. I'm not saying run for the hills. That's not what I'm saying. But I think we have to be cognizant of it because if we're not cognizant of it, then we're definitely going to get fucked. Like there's no like if you don't realize that this is a thing and you just think that everyone, again, if you don't take sales calls or at least talk to people that aren't in this space, again, I'm guilty of this. You will think that everyone thinks, oh man, Bricks dynamic data with this and this and this is like so amazing and like this is so valuable. I don't think you can just talk to your people that understand you. You have to talk. It is so enlightening to be on some sales calls that even not in your industry, just like when somebody's selling something that's to somebody that is a regular, lay person for whatever the product is, it's way too valuable to not hear those things and be like, this is how a normal person thinks about something that they have no idea about, but they're, being faced with the decision to buy it or not. Maybe I just need to get better at sales. That's probably the answer. I got to get on more sales calls. I got to do more sales stuff. I don't know what it is, but I appreciate you guys listening. This was just kind of me just kind of going through the progressions and thinking about all this stuff. If you have had any of this crop up through your time as an agency owner or freelancer, leave some stories down below, leave some advice down below for other people. Obviously I'm open to it as well. I'm always trying to get better here, but I appreciate you guys listening. And like I said, I'm just trying to learn with you. I'm just the one talking to the camera right now. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you in the next one.